You're watching a More Beautiful World podcast with Susan Renee, a channel for those of you with open minds and courageous hearts who are looking for guidance on your trauma healing and personal transformation journeys. Here, I share with you the powers of intentional plant medicine use, along with other holistic therapies and spiritual guidance to guide you on your path forward. I'm so eager to share with you what I've learned in working with these sacred plant medicines on my own journey, including the knowing that what we do to heal ourselves, we do to heal the whole collective. Join me as I share my experiences, knowledge, and wisdom to guide your trauma healing so you can transform your life, and so that together we can create the more beautiful world we all know is possible. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of A More Beautiful World. In today's episode, I will be sharing how to honor the resting season. This podcast is airing on the winter solstice, the shortest and darkest day of the year. And as we transition officially into the winter season, how do we honor this resting season? As we work to really heal from the anxiety and the trauma, a big part of that healing process is getting back in tune with our Mother Earth, getting in flow with the change of seasons, the moon cycles, and with nature in general. And as I'm navigating my first true winter season in 17 years, being back up in North Country with dark and cold days, I'm remembering how important it is to rest and how this is the time of year to really sync up with the cycles of nature and honor this resting season. And I want to share with you today the ways in which I'm honoring this darkness, this rest, and really making the most of this time of year so that you can as well. So if you are ready to learn some ways to better honor this season of rest and darkness, and you want to get yourself ready for the upcoming seasons of next year, then this episode is for you. So I'll start with a question, and that is, what does winter season really feel like for you? What emotions does it evoke for you? What does it make you feel like even physically? And what does this time of year really make you think, about doing or not doing? I know for many, this is a busy time of year. With the holidays, there's parties, right? There's family get-togethers. There's lots of shopping. There's lots of indulging in foods. There's lots of cookies and cakes and things about. And while this can be part of this season, it can also be taken to extremes, this overindulgence, this overcommitment, this overactivity, and it really can throw you out of balance during this season, because this season really is made for more rest, more stillness, and more nourishment. And with this kind of, eagerness of everyone to jump into the holidays and to have this busyness around them, right? It's a lot of our societal conditioning. The stress can really be amplified during this season when we're out of balance and we're dealing with this, a history of anxiety and trauma as well. In family get-togethers and holiday parties, right? Your family members may trigger you. Maybe your friends might trigger you. You may have extra anxiety about these social gatherings, or you might get worried, right? And have anxiety about travel and making your flights, or, having good weather for your drive, or even just having anxiety and stress around getting shopping done, right? Buying all those gifts. And with all of this possible excessive, busyness that you might be feeling, if you are someone who's operating in that space, it creates excess stress on the nervous system, and it also wears down your immune system. So let's, bring in that aspect a little bit, right? Why are people getting sick this time of year, right? Why is this cold and flu season? It's because people are doing the opposite of honoring the rest, honoring the nourishment. Most people out there are exhausting themselves this time of year, filling up their calendars, overcommitting to things, maybe not even sleeping, not committing to a good night's rest every night. There's a lot of busyness and overindulgence. And sugar. I mean, let's talk about the amount of sugar that can come in during the holidays with all the parties and the cookies and the cakes, again. And it is this stress and overindulgence that sets a perfect environment for illness, to be present. When we are draining our bodies, exhausting our nervous system, right? Suppressing our immune system with all of that sugar. Yes, cold, flus, right? Illnesses are going to be about. So I know a lot of you feel that this time of year. And I don't do too much with overcommitting during the holidays, and I do keep my calendar a bit simple. But I have been noticing, I've been dealing with a big transition this year, if you've been listening to the podcast. And I'm now in Colorado, and I'm finding myself a little extra restless this time of year because this is my first time in 17 years that I am back in a cold environment during this time of year. It is much darker up here than it was in Phoenix this time of year. And while there was a little bit of winter season, down in Arizona, this is a big shift for me. And I'm finding myself really questioning, what do I do with this excess cold, this excess darkness? And, with these dark and short days, how can I best use this time to keep the anxiety low, to keep the stress low, to continue to do the work to heal, the trauma, right? And to continue to heal and transform and ascend. And so as I've been contemplating this over these last couple of weeks, I've really stepped into what I talk about all the time and the knowing in the healing process of syncing up with the season, right? No need to fight it. Sync up with this beautiful Pachamama, this beautiful Mother Earth, and really honor this season with rest, with nourishment. And honoring the darkness that comes with it. So with that, what do we do? What really is the way to sync up with nature and to honor this resting season, to honor the darkness, to honor this time where our bodies are really asking for more nourishment? So I want to start and talk about nature. Right? Because if we're syncing up with nature, let's really think about what is nature doing this time of year. Animals, let's first look to the animals. A lot of animals are hibernating, right? They were maybe eating a lot or gathering up nuts and seeds to get them through the winter, and they are more still. They are resting more. They are using their stores that they have from the fall, right, to nourish themselves this time of year. If we look to the plants aren't putting out energy into leaves and branches and flowers right now. They are actually storing nourishment deep down in their roots, getting ready for the seasons to come. Right? Knowing more light will return, knowing that spring and warmer weather will come. So they are storing their energy right now, and they are resting in this darkness to get ready, right? To get ready for what is to come. And we can do the same thing. This darker time of year has a very yin, feminine energy to it as well. And the feminine really is about nourishing. It's about a time of a little more reflection, a little bit more maybe creativity even in the darkness. And I think that's an important aspect to bring in, in honoring this season of rest is this more divine feminine, this more yin, nourishing, restorative type energy. So the other thing I want to bring in my holistic medicine practice, I work with the 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine. And energetically, winter season is about the water element. And when we look to the water element energetically, some of the more energy cultivating emotions that are tied to this time of year are going to be things like cultivating your faith, deepening your belief systems, and really trusting in life's perfection. We think about tying that in with nature, right? How do we trust that the sun will return during these times of darkness, And if you're listening when this podcast airs on the darkest day of the year, right? We do have trust that the days will get longer. The sun will come, the days will warm up, spring will return, summer will come. So how can you in life, right? Trust more in life's perfection, trusting in the divine timing of your journey, trusting that your own flowers will bloom again and that the, seeds that you have sown will sprout, and trees and plants will grow for you. So again, when we look to the energetics in traditional Chinese medicine, it's a great time to work on more of your faith, to work on more of your belief systems, and to really deepen and sink into trusting in life's perfection. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, but as you think about your life during this time of year, as you are honoring the season of rest and you are being more contemplative and more reflective, ask yourself, what do you want to call in to your life? And what can you cultivate faith and belief in that is going to come into your life? It is a great time to ask yourself, what do you want to call in for this next year? And for the upcoming seasons that we know are coming, right? Because just as we know winter is upon us, we know that spring and summer and fall will all follow. So really ask yourself right now, what do I want to cultivate trust in and really deepen my faith and my belief in that will be coming in my life for these next seasons? So I'll share, I think, a great way to do that, and I want to transition into really talking about what are the ways in which we can honor this season of rest and nourishment. I'm going to share some of the things I'm doing, some of the things that I think we all can do and that I can even do better at. But when we think about, what can we have trust in? What can we have faith and belief in right now? I think a beautiful thing to do this time of year to honor this season of rest and nourishment, first and foremost, is to do more meditation, more intention setting, and more prayer work. With these darker days, it's a great time to go within. It's a great way to honor your rest and honor this season. And again, as you go within, building in these energetics, right? What are some intentions you can set for the upcoming spring, for the upcoming summer, fall, for the new year in general? And as you're getting more still and you're doing more resting, again, bringing in that contemplative and reflective energy to really, spend more time with that intention setting, to meditate, and really listen to the universe, listen to spirit, listen, to what you're being called to set intentions for in this upcoming year. And once you kind of have some intentions and you've done some meditation and you have some clarity coming in as you're getting more reflective and honoring the season of rest, then you can translate that into prayer, right? And write out your prayers and recite them daily. I'm going to probably one of these upcoming podcasts here, really teach you guys how to empower your prayers and how to bring more energy to your prayers and really be able to manifest your prayers through ritual and ceremony work. But for right now, right, you can just use intentions and turn them into prayers for your upcoming year. And as you are honoring your rest, it's a beautiful time to bring in that clarity. And maybe even as you're readying for the new year, write out, on a sheet of paper, roll it up and set it on your altar or set it in a sacred place for the prayers that you have for the year to come. So I think that's a beautiful way that you can honor this season, of rest and nourishment and reflection and introspection. But what else can we do? Right? What else can we do to really honor the rest and honor this winter season now that it is upon us? So, a few things I'm doing that I feel really called to share with you is I am slowing down my calendar. And I know it can be hard this time of year because we do want to, see family and see friends and go to the holiday parties. Though I would encourage you all to ask yourself what really is that full body fuck yes that you want to do. And if it's not the fuck yes, remember it's a fuck no. Okay? Because I feel, again, as I mentioned earlier in this podcast, there is such an energy of overcommitting and overindulging and overextending ourselves. And that is the opposite of what we need to be doing during this time of rest. So ask yourself, how can you slow down your calendar? How can you take it down to more of just what the priorities are, what those full yeses are that you want to do, that feel nourishing, right? That even feel maybe restful for yourself. In the energy of honoring this season, another thing I've really been doing is some more nesting in my home. So I feel that, the nesting aspect of our home and maybe organizing things, maybe doing just a slight bit of decluttering even, that's a very feminine energy to bring in. And with the time of darkness, again, and this feminine energy that is around us, nesting in your home a little bit more can be a great way to honor the season. And as you nest right now, and maybe organize your home, think about how you can make it feel more restful. I'm pretty sure it's the Danish have a word called hygge, which is really about creating a cozy environment and bringing cozy vibes into your home. And for me, in my nesting, I find bringing in this aspect of hygge is so beautiful this time of year. I have a lot of salt lamps that I keep lit, a lot of candles that I keep going. I've got the Christmas lights kind of decorated and twinkling. And I keep the lighting low in my home right now when it's dark out to further honor the rest and the introspection. And again, just the season of darkness. I don't turn on all the crazy lights, at night and like blast my house with, fluorescent lights or anything like that. So ask yourself, how can you do some more nesting? How can you create some more cozy vibes in your home to make it feel more restful, right? Be it lighting some candles, lowering the lights a little bit, maybe even getting out some of your favorite blankets or, wrapping yourself in warm blankets or robes, whatever it might be. So another way that I feel I'm honoring this season of rest, and I know you can too, is to sleep some more. Allow yourself to sleep in. Go to bed earlier. There is a lot of darkness to take advantage of for good sleep right now. And I know even when I was living in Arizona, wintertime was always the time I slept more because it was always darker. And I've always been a rise and fall with the sun. I'm very connected into the sun, the moon, the Mother Earth. And I feel right now, all my body has wanted to do is sleep. And I'm honoring that. Luckily I get to make my own calendar, so I can sleep in more. I can go to bed earlier. And if you can't do that every day, find a certain day where you can make it happen. Because again, with all of this darkness and this season of rest, your body needs nourishment. And one of the ways that it restores its cells and, boosts the immune system is through sleeping. So it's a beautiful time to make sure you are optimizing your sleep. You are allowing yourself to get enough rest. And again, if you need to sleep in or hit that snooze button or, maybe even turn off the alarm, go for it. Beautiful thing to do this time of year. I had already mentioned, spending extra time with prayer, meditation, intention setting. So I won't go too deep into that, but it's on my list. So going to mention it again. And I also think that this time of year, especially if you do have a busy calendar and there is some excess stress, some, maybe too many commitments, maybe some triggers happening, your body's already pumping out some extra cortisol if there is stress about. So do not overdo it in the gym. Don't go and try to, kill yourself on a treadmill to run off the cookies that you had the night before. Maybe just don't overindulge in the cookies, and then don't punish yourself by having to go to the gym, and do all this excess movement. Because right now with this energy of rest and nourishment, there's also some restoration needed in the body. So more beautiful ways to really honor your energy, again, especially if you've got excess stress and excess anxiety about, is to do things more oriented around restorative yoga, gentle walks out in the sunshine, and really take it easy on your body right now. Again, one of the beautiful ways I love getting in, some detoxification right now is infrared sauna therapy. I'm very blessed to have a portable infrared sauna. If any of you are interested in one, let me know. I'm happy to connect you to that. But it's another beautiful way to really, help our bodies detoxify, but at the same time restore ourselves and have some warmth come into our lives as we don't overexert our body, we don't produce excess cortisol, and really get more into that rest and nourishing space. So also, you don't have to go to bed when the sun goes down, because for many of us, we would be sleeping for like 14 hours a night, and that's probably not conducive to your life. However, can you use these darker nights for more restful activities? So instead of, running around and being really busy and having all the lights on, again, in your home, can you, find ways in the darkness to just do more rest? And ways that I have found that have felt really yummy in the darkness of the night, before I'm not ready for bed yet, right? But how do I bring in more restful energy? Been reading some books, right? Putting on some gentle music, writing out some of those intentions for the new year, taking yummy Epsom salt baths, which feel so good this time of year, getting in some journaling, and again, just kind of doing this reflection on what this year has taught me and the lessons and the blessings that have come with it. And really just expressing myself, through journaling. And even I've taken that a step further, and I would encourage you to do this too as you're resting. There might be some creative energy that comes up as you're honoring the rest. And so maybe you want to get out a coloring book, or create some art, write a poem, write a song, whatever it might be for you as you're honoring the rest and really connecting into your soul and into your spirit. Give that creativity that might be showing up an outlet. That's another beautiful way that you can honor your rest. And also, in the darkness, in the rest, I would encourage you, if you are a person who loves to rest and that for you is just kind of watching TV, maybe doing some binge watching. There's always a time and place for binge watching. I get it. However, if you cannot do that every single day, right? And do something that does feel more nourishing. Maybe turn the TV off early and climb into bed with a good book, or, do some of the journaling, some of the things I just mentioned. I think observing your own patterns, and if you are resting right now and they're not feeling very nourishing, are there ways to deepen your rest and deepen your nourishment this time of year by maybe cutting down the TV hours or cutting down the time scrolling through social media? Again, doing something that's more restorative for your mind, your body, and your soul. So a few other things to mention here in honoring the rest. I would say when you are connecting with others, set an intention, make it a point to slow down with them, be fully present, get into deeper conversations, share more love, be more generous, be more kind, and really deepen your connection with others as you are going out, in these gatherings and in these spaces. Because I feel that if you do have these commitments, right, family get-togethers, whatever it is, if you can't even bring in, the nature of honoring the rest, honoring some of the slowness, and really becoming more present with what you're doing, that's another beautiful way to honor this time of year. So the last thing I want to share with you, because I feel I would be remiss if I didn't add on the nutritional component of what to do this time of year. As we are in winter season, a beautiful way to nourish yourself is with food. So I am not talking about, all of those sweet treats and the cookies and the cakes and all of the things that the holidays might bring you. Indulge on them once in a while. It is a beautiful part of this time of year, but make sure you are balancing it out with some healthy staples this time of year. Winter season is an excellent time to bring in warm cooked foods. So lots of soups and stews, bringing in warming spices, things like ginger and cinnamon, and clove and garlic are great ways to really warm the body energetically and to nourish ourselves. Antioxidants and bringing in herbs and spices in general is great for your immune system this year. Also bringing in teas, and warm beverages. So, I'm a huge fan of elderberry tea this year. Very nourishing, great for the immune system. Echinacea tea is another really beautiful one. But there are so many great herbal teas out there and warm beverages that you can bring in this time of year to help yourself get cozy, right? To really bring in some of those warmer, more peaceful, more restful vibes. Also, in your diet, it's a great time to bring in root vegetables. As we talked about earlier with using this time, and honoring the resting season. We are like the plants, like the trees. We want to be, really storing that energy in our roots and nourishing our roots this time of year. So we're ready for next year. We're ready for spring and summer and fall. So root vegetables are a great way to nourish your roots right now. And root vegetables are going to be things like beets and carrots and potatoes and yams, and putting those into warming foods like soups and stews, and even roasting the vegetables. It's a great option to bring into your diet right now. So again, warm foods, lots of warming herbs and spices, add those spices into your foods, teas, hot beverages, bring in the root vegetables, bring in a lot more cooked foods this time of year to help you in honoring this resting season, this season of nourishment. So with all of those wonderful things, now it's time to ask yourself, where are you at right now? And how have you been operating during this season? What is kind of your standard operating mode? And when you have that awareness around how you're operating, then ask yourself, do you have more ways in which you can honor this resting season? Ways in which you can honor nourishing yourself more and take advantage of this more still, dark, quiet, restful time. I know because I've been there. I know it's easy to get caught up and wrapped up in the busyness of the holiday season, as we move through winter. Though I really do hope you will take the advice or some of the advice that I shared in this episode and really find, what resonates with you and feels in alignment for you, something that feels doable in these ways I shared to honor more rest and bring it into your routine. It really is such a beautiful way to, heal anxiety and to really heal trauma when we sync up with nature, when we begin to sync up with the energies of our beautiful Earth Mother. Because getting into that flow, getting into that season and that sync can really help you to deepen your work on the healing of the anxiety and the past traumas. Okay, with that, happy winter solstice. Happy winter season. It has been one heck of a year. So cheers to making 2023 and the upcoming seasons, more fruitful, more full of prosperity and abundance and love and blessings and health and wholeness and peace and tranquility. Okay, and let's remember, above all else, tribe, this is all about making a more beautiful world for us all. And that does begin with you. Because as you, incorporate these things I'm talking about in this podcast, and as you work on bettering yourself and you move through your healing and transformation journey, you are beautifying our world. I hope you found this episode helpful, and I appreciate you being on your healing journey with me. As always, if you need support on your journey as you heal the anxiety, as you're working to heal the trauma, or if you need just some additional support in honoring this season of rest and taking advantage of resting season and honoring winter, make sure you grab your free clarity call with me below in the description, because I would be so honored to guide you and support you on your healing and on your transformation. That is all for today, tribe. Mwah! Until next time, much love to you all. Hey tribe, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button below and then click subscribe so you catch future episodes. And remember, I've got lots of free resources for you to learn about the powers of intentional plant medicine use in order to support your trauma healing and personal transformation journey. So make sure you check them out in the description below and help in making this a more beautiful world for us all. Thanks again for tuning in, tribe. And until next time, much love to you all.